Okay, great, everyone. If you at the tuck shop, please come through. We are going to start. The live stream is starting now. Okay, great. So, good evening, committee members, educators, parents, coaches, special guests, and live stream viewers. And most importantly, our future robot engineers. It really gives us great pleasure to welcome you to the World Robot Olympiad Western Cape launch tonight here at Crystal House, South Africa in Cape Town. And my name is Richard Nags, and I have the privilege of being the 2022 World Robot Olympiad Western Cape chairperson. And we are so very excited that we have the opportunity to be in person once again. The past 2 online WRO seasons have been very isolated, and now we can make new friends, learn from each other, and push the boundaries of what is possible. But before we go any further, I'd like to play a welcome message from Audrey Marais, CEO of Crystal House, South Africa.
Would have been possible without our newly elected Vice Chair Cedric, as well as our newly elected Chair Richard. Congratulations to you both, and thank you for choosing Crystal House as a venue for the launch, but more importantly for the provincials that's going to be in August this year, the 13th. It's going to be a phenomenal opportunity, particularly because it's in a suburb where we're surrounded by so much need, and I want to particularly thank the committee for agreeing to the week after the provincials to do an outreach to our community to let those kids who can actually probably never touch a robot see one. I meant to mention that this ties in with our vision to a large degree. We are an IT school, we're a STEM school, we're a Microsoft school, and with the ability of robotics to really help critical thinking, logical thinking, it's just a bedrock of good curriculum work and good education into a sustainable future. And none of this could have really been possible without our sponsors. So there's a lot of sponsors out there to make this possible. There's the whole committee to make it possible, and hopefully if we add the Crystal House magic to it, it's going to be a fantastic year. So thank you very, very much, and I'll join you a bit later.
This year. So the World Robot Olympiad brings together young people from all over the world and helps develop their creativity, their design, and their problem-solving skills through various robotic challenges that are really a lot of fun to solve. Now, the WRO inspires an interest in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and in a fun and engaging way. But what is especially important is the fact that every year there is a new theme, and that theme is linked to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Now, these themes get our children to start thinking about real problems that are facing the world right now and what they can do to solve them. So here is a fantastic overview video all about the World Robot Olympiad, and it was filmed in Costa Rica in 2017. that video is amazing. I love it so much because it truly captures the diversity of the challenges, the excitement, and the high level of spirit and competition that you experience at these events. Now, I've been privileged enough to attend 6 of these events, and I can tell you it is absolutely huge. It's so huge. So now this slide shows the really big numbers in the 2019 Hungarian competition. There were over 28,000 teams from over 75 countries, and over 75,000 young people were involved in this competition. Now, as you can see, this is a truly global Olympiad. Now, let's have a look at local numbers. Hands-On Technologies began exploring the World Robot Olympiad in 2008. And after officially becoming the national organizer in 2009, they began the Olympiad with 40 teams in 2010. And in 2016, Hands-On Technologies started to experience this amazing and rapid growth. And what they decided to do was to elect regional committees to manage the growth and the expansion of the World Robot Olympiad in each region in South Africa. Now, Tony and I were lucky enough to be the original founders of the World Robot Olympiad Western Cape and part of that team. Now, as you can see from the graph, the WRO numbers grew to 730 teams nationally in 2019. Now, each team consists of 2 to 3 members, and that means that there were approximately 2,000 learners from the whole of South Africa who took part in the competition. And that's a lot of participants in this, in this area, and it's going to grow even faster. Now, of course, COVID did impact our numbers in 2020 and 2021, but we really are proud to have had 120 teams compete in the online competitions. So if you took part in those competitions, well done, thank you. It was lonely, it was isolated, but you all made us proud. Now, before I introduce the 2022 WRO Western Cape Regional Committee, I would like to welcome a very special VIP tonight, Mr. Dani Heymans. He's the national organizer of WRO for South Africa, and thank you so much for attending, sir. It really is a privilege to have you here, and it's been a privilege to work with you over the years. Thank you. Okay, so now to introduce the 2022 WRO Western Cape Committee. So team, please stand up when I call your name. It's Busi Makabela, the Executive Director of the Association for Educational Transformation from ASSA. Richard Nags, Director of Technology and Innovation at Parklands College. Tony Williams, WRO Curriculum Manager, STEAM D, Technology, Coding and Robotics, Senior Phase. It's Dr. Tony Williams, sorry. Leslie Williams, Director of Heidelberg Robotics. Fatima Yakut, Executive Manager of Sakikamva Foundation. Okay. Well, welcome. Jonathan Fries, WCD, Deputy Chief Education Specialist Technology. Setu Stofile, Deputy Chief Education Specialist. Dr. Stofile, wow. Deline Gelderblom, Intermediate Phase Robotics Manager at WRO. Yuri De Jager, WRO Curriculum Manager, Natural Sciences and Robotics Clubs. Cedric Esterhazen, Head of Languages, Cats and Robotics at Crystal House, South Africa. And Vice Chair, Sharon Ridge, ICT Educator Champion, Crystal House, South Africa, over there. Just busy with our registration. Thank you so much, ma'am. And Hansel Williams, semi-retired De Beers automation engineer expert with over 40 years of experience. So as you've heard, we have a really skilled and able team, and it really is going to be a privilege to work with you all, especially towards organizing the WRO regional competition, which will be held on the 13th of August right here in Crystal House, South Africa, in this very hall. So, yeah, we're really looking forward to it. So everyone, please join me in welcoming everybody again. Thank you. Okay, so we are very, very lucky to be part of WRO South Africa because we have a very smart national organizing team who have really made many opportunities available to us all. They added 2 entry-level robotics programs for beginners called WeDo, or Spike Essential, and Explorer, which was actually invented by our very own South African national organizing team. They invented the Explorer category. So these competitions are for those teams who are just starting out with WRO. They're bridging competitions, and they just help learners develop the skills they need to get into the WRO proper competition. We also offer the 4 official rebranded, and I say rebranded, I'm going to say it a lot tonight because all the naming has changed, rebranded WRO international competition categories. And the regular category is now called the Robo Mission category. WRO football is now called Robo Sports. Open category is now Future Innovators, and advanced robotics category is now called Future Engineers. And the onset of COVID has also accelerated a virtual offering, which was piloted by many countries, including South Africa in 2021. And this offering is called Robot Virtual Games. And what you do here is you use a virtual robot to compete in a virtual robot game. And we're still waiting to hear whether that's going to be offered in 2022, but it is a lot of fun. Okay, it is also very important that you understand the age groupings that appear in the categories. It can be very confusing, but just understand these age categories and you should be fine. So WRO, first of all, have now officially allowed for age overlaps so that younger learners can compete in the harder categories, okay, which is great. You'll see, for example, elementary school age 8 to 12, and then you'll see junior school age 11 to 15. So there's that overlap. 11 and 12-year-olds can now officially compete in the junior school age. And this means that you can team up with your older brother or sister if you like. It's a great opportunity, and it helps build really strong teams. But what is really important is that you need to understand that you have to be, basically the age that you are in the year of the competition is very important. If you are 12 now, but turn 13 in this year, you cannot compete in the elementary age group. Okay, so you have to be that age in the year of the competition. Okay, so if you turn 13 this year, you have to be in the junior competition. All right. So now, if you've not already seen it, here is the 2022 WRO season theme video, and this competition will be hosted in Dortmund in Germany. Okay, great. So we're really, really excited about this theme because we know that we are going to see some really, really brilliant ideas from you. It's a really wonderfully open theme. And as I mentioned earlier, we have 2 entry-level robotics programs for beginners called WeDo, Spike Essential, and Explorer, for those teams who are just starting out with WRO. Now, please note that there is no international competition for these categories. We are also proud to announce that the rules for these 2 challenges have been released in conjunction with this event tonight. So straight after the launch, please go to the WRO SA website and you will have access to the rules. So I'd like to call up Ms. Ilmri von Wellich to tell us about this year's WeDo Spike Prime Essential competition. So please welcome her to the stage.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you can hear me. I'm quite short. But yes, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of our competition for the little ones. So it goes up to age 10, and they can use their We Do 2 sets or the Spike Essential sets. There are 3 requirements for this. They need to build their robots ahead of time, and it needs to fit into the red starting area. They need to have 1 controller, and they can go up to 2 COM ports max. So that's just a little feedback on what to expect from it. And keep in mind, these will be in-house competitions at your schools, and you can see who else you can involve with it. And then you can send your highest score to the WRO SA company, and then they will submit a certificate to you to say you competed and you did very well. So keep in mind, it's going to be an inter-house competition this year. And then just to tell you a little bit about the competition itself, so our theme for this one is Vacation at the Beach, and your robot is basically a lifeguard. So you need to keep everyone safe at the beach. So it's applicable to the age, they're going to love it, and there's a few builds that you're going to have with your little Lego pieces. You're going to build 6 little visitors that you are going to place. Let's see if I can find it. You're going to place your 6 little visitors on those little dots there. So your 6 little visitors each have something they need to do, and there is 1 little visitor in the water that your bot needs to go and save. So the one mission your bot needs to do is get your visitor from the water safely back to the beach. Then, as I mentioned, your other visitors, things that they will do is they need sunscreen, a first aid kit, a camera, and they need to go to an information station. So all of that is going to be done within this one little table, and they are going to have so much fun with it. And like they mentioned, everything was posted on the website today, so if you need any more information with regards to the rules, the points, or anything about this specific competition, you are more than welcome to have a look at the website or contact them if you have any more questions or concerns. But we hope to see a lot of you use it and participate and have fun with it. So yes, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. I'd like to call up Mr. Donnie Heymans now to tell us about this year's Explorer competitions. So please welcome Donnie to the stage.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here from Johannesburg. I have been training in the Western Cape for 2 days, as you can hear my voice is going, because working with learners is not as difficult as trying to work with adult trainers. Okay? They start playing and making a lot of noise, and I have to lift my voice, and I have to click my fingers and get them all to sit down. So I've been talking above normal decibel range over the last 2 days in Vredenburg. But anyway, it's lovely to be in the Western Cape, and also to see this lovely venue, which will be hosting, the Western Cape provincial competition. So the Explorer category came about because of teams struggling with the proper competition. And in the proper competition, obviously, you have 2 opportunities of 2 minutes to have a maximum score in the shortest time. And if this is your first event, it's really tough because you had to build your robot, okay? And if your robot didn't talk to the code that you'd already written, it was a big fail. And then, of course, we did have teams go home disappointed and not wanting to participate again. So we thought, and also you get to an event like a proper event, and there are all these people with these amazing robots, okay? Never mind you trying to code yours and make it work in the competition. You're seeing all these amazing robots, and it's such a big event, and there's people, and there's cheering at the soccer, and people are cheering for successful runs. And that distracts you from actually making sure that you actually have a good event. So what we decided to do was to lead our younger novices into the entry-level competitions, so that they have many opportunities to score over a 2 or 3 hour period, okay? And if you make mistakes, it's okay. You can have another turn. And that's effectively how it happens. And the highest score in the 2.5 hour time that you participate in is the one that counts. And in fact, we're finding that it works, and it's become really, really popular around the country at all our provincials. We have also had provincial face-to-face Explorer events. In fact, they grew so much that we had to move them to a Friday afternoon because we couldn't cater for everybody on a Saturday. And then last year, within COVID, we decided, okay, well, what we're going to do is we're going to also run it as an in-house event. So we've got 2 opportunities. I'll talk through those a little bit later. But let's just talk about Explorer itself. We have 2 age groups, so Explorer Lite and Explorer Prime, as you can see on the board. Okay, and you use a pre-built robot, so you don't have to build your robot on the day. You use a pre-built robot, you bring it with you. The trick, though, okay, in the preparation that you do is that you obviously code and practice your programming in the 4 months, 5 months leading up to your provincial event. But it's like learning for a test or for a final exam. On the day of the event, okay, you cannot bring your code with you. You start a new program on the day, okay? And that's the challenge. But how well have you learnt? You know how far it moves. You know what modifiers you need to change to be able to have a certain angle when you move around an obstacle or change direction on the board. So effectively, you then use all that knowledge that you've accumulated over your practice time, okay, and then you put it all together in the day. The 2 age groups, Explorer Lite is 8 to 12 years old, okay, and in fact, Richard, I just tap right here to move up one, right? Or just, oh, thanks. Okay, need assistance here. Glasses, you know, the age is starting to happen. And I managed to find the venue, so that was also a very big, achievement for me. Through all the traffic, GPS works well, eh? Okay, so let me just do what I think I need to do here, and there we go. So effectively, what we do with this happened again, did it? There we go. I have this. So what we do with the Explorer Challenge is we use the WRO proper elementary mat for this competition, and we use it in both age groups. Okay, the reason we do this is so that you don't have to go and buy multiple mats. Okay, we keep it simple, so use the same mat for your WRO proper challenge and also for your Explorer challenges. And we also use the same mat for the other age group, which you saw just now, which is Prime, and that's the same as the junior age group for WRO, which is 13 to 15. The difference between the two, the challenge is exactly the same. But the difference between the two is when you do the elementary challenge and you work in the light category, is that anything you move, whether it's in or partially out, you still get the score. So if you're touching the area it's meant to go into, it counts. Okay? So partially in and partially out, you get the score that is required. The difference going up to the older age group with the same mat and the same challenge is that your elements or your objects on the table have to be completely in or completely out for you to get the score. So there's the the lift in the difficulty of the challenge. In the Prime, we also add an element where you actually have to use motors to lift something and put it somewhere else, or you use a third motor to attempt a different challenge. Okay, so that prepares you a little bit more for the WRO itself. Basically, the age group you can see is the garden robot. Okay, and you're going to start with your robo mission, and your robot has to move around. I'm sure this will be discussed a little bit during the elementary mission challenge anyway. But what you've got on the table is you've got pieces of grass that need to be cut. You've got a robot that's going to work your garden for you. Okay? And there's grass that needs to be cut, and there are weeds that need to be removed. So basically, the grass that's going to be cut, for example, are these green elements over here. Okay, and I think there's a third one, yes, over here. And then they basically have a base, and there's a piece of grass that's too long on top. And you've got to move your robot to actually remove the top from that piece of grass, and that's how your grass is cut. Okay, you'll see it when it starts happening in 3D or the videos. We will do a video for it in the future. The red ones are solid, and they're a weed. We don't want to just cut the weed because it's going to come up again, naughty weed. All right? So what we do is we actually remove the weed, and we put it into these red collection areas. Okay, which is the same as the Robo Mission Elementary Challenge. And those are collection points so that you can collect those weeds later and not send them for recycling, but send them to the dump. Okay. Right, the other thing an extra which we have here is over here is we've got a little garden gnome that has been built. The garden gnome, okay, who wakes up at night, and we have to worry about him a little bit because there's a pool right behind him. So we've got to move him from over here into zones. You'll see there's a zone 1, a zone 2, a zone 3, and a zone 4. So your robot needs to move the gnome away from the swimming pool, as far away as possible, and for every zone you go further away, you get an extra 10 points, all the way to the bottom. And as you'll see on the mat itself, there is a gnome there. So that we actually want these two gnomes to see each other and be in the same area together, so that we've got a friend, right? Okay, then importantly, on the right-hand side here, we have, that looks like a ladybird. But we're going to call it a ladybug because it's an invasive species. It doesn't belong in South Africa, okay? All right, so that also has to be moved into the collection area or off the area, off its pedestal. Let's just call it that. On the top right-hand corner over here, you'll see an element which is like a seesaw. And that effectively is a switch. And basically what the switch is going to do is we have a black area down and a green area up. And your robot in the elementary, in the light section, is level, and there's a ball on the one side. Okay, and all you're going to do is actually knock away the little pedestal, keeping it upright, or you're going to knock the ball off so that the green faces up. And when the green comes up, that's when the signal goes to your cell phone and tells you that all the work in the garden is complete. Okay, so what a wonderful little challenge to be able to work for. And then there are some other things which you have to do. And typically, we're trying to lead you into the proper competition. So from an explorer perspective, okay, there's a little test. So that somewhere on the mat, you have to show us that you can follow a line. To follow a line, you need to be able to use the light sensor, okay, and see the difference between black and white. And you need to be able to use the ultrasonic sensor, okay. In this particular one, we haven't included the gyroscopic sensor because with EV3, it wasn't that reliable. With Spike Prime, well, it doesn't stop you from using it in there. In fact, if you do use it, and I'm judging, maybe I'll give you some extra points. Okay, but anyway, so the Explorer Challenge will also be on the web, and we will run that. At the moment, we're going to see if we can still run it as a face-to-face event. Depending on the number of entries this year, it may happen on the same day as the WRO Robo mission. But if there are too many participants or teams entering, then we will move them to a Friday afternoon. This is at each one of the provincials. And as usual, if that works, we're going to run a national event as well. So at the national event, obviously, you will show the top participants in the country. For Explorer and for WeDo, we will also have in-house competitions. When you have the in-house competition, it was explained with the WeDo Spike Essential, is that you will receive a certificate. Once your score is submitted, you'll receive a certificate which is banded for a certain score. So that if you get, an example would be between 40 and 80, you would get a bronze certificate. 80 to 150 would be silver, and then 50 to 200 you would get a gold certificate. And those are for the in-house competitions. We will run in-house anyway, regardless. So there will be face-to-face events, and there will be in-house competitions. We want the in-house to happen because not everybody can travel to these events, enter the competition and travel to these events. So what's really nice is now that you can actually run this event in-house, wherever you're being taught, in your classroom, in your lab. And the last week of October will be the week where your trainer or your mentor will actually let you rerun the competition, take your score on the day, submit it to us, so that a month later we can actually supply with certificates. Okay, thank you very much. For those new people, let's encourage participants at Explorer level because you don't have to travel, and that is the best introduction to the proper competition. Thank you.
Thank you, Donnie. Yep, that really is an exciting challenge, especially for the beginners, and it really is a great lead up to the official competition, which you'll see here. Basically, once again, the international WRO categories, they rebranded. I'm saying that again because it's so important. When you see videos, you'll see the old names. So it's really important to make sure you know there's Robo Mission. There's Robo Sports, Future Innovators, and Future Engineers. So I need you to understand as well that there are some exciting things that have happened with the technologies that you can use in these spaces. So on your left, you'll see that there are the two challenges, the Robo Mission and the Robo Sports. These challenges are specifically for Lego products only. Okay, so you can only use Lego products for these challenges. You may not modify the Lego products either, no cutting or reshaping. So you have to, or modifying motors, you have to use the components as they are. Okay. Then on your right, you'll see the two exciting challenges, future innovators and future engineers. Now the technologies that you're allowed to use in this space are completely open. 3D printers, Raspberry Pi, microbit, whatever you like, Resolute Robotics, whatever it may be. So exciting space to be, very innovative space, and yeah, a lot of fun. So just very important that you know that. Okay, so I'd now like to call on Mr. Cedric Esterhazen, and he's going to tell us about the WRO Robo Mission category. Please welcome him to the stage.
Right, good evening, everyone. I'm a little bit nervous. It's the first time I've been vice chair of the WRO Western Cape, and I'm surrounded by all these wonderful committee members over here who's been quite supportive. It would be remiss of me not to thank them for their support, everyone, okay? And a special welcome to Danny. Last time I saw Danny was in 2017, I think. That was when we started robotics at Crystal House, and we went through with our first team, just 2 learners, and one of them are here. If I may, Mr. Chair, can I just ask that learner to stand for a few seconds? Storm Solomons, are you here? He's standing up outside. There's he. There's Storm Solomon. Welcome, Storm. So Storm graduated a couple of years ago. Was it 3 years ago, Storm? 3 years ago. And we have our robotics classes every Saturday. And for 3 years after he graduated, every Saturday he would make his way to the school where he would then help out the younger learners, the grade 8s coming from junior school where they also have robotics. But his expertise and the complexity of his programming, he then passes on, which is part of what we do here at Crystal House. We give back. And I want to acknowledge Storm today for his efforts. In fact, he bothers me to come. You know, there are some Saturdays where I wish he'd give me a little bit of a break, but, he's here every single Saturday. And we love him to bits. He's part of the family. And the little ones, they know him already. So he's one of my coaches. And we have students who can no longer participate, who's in grade 12, and they then mentor these learners to make sure that we, keep robotics alive and we remain relevant to what's happening in the educational sphere. Right. So, back to business. Allow me to continue the thread that Richard started along. Rebranding. It's no longer the regular category. It is called Robo Mission. Okay? And it's for 8 to 12, there are 3, a junior Robo Mission and a senior Robo Mission. Elementary. Within the Robo Mission, we have elementary, junior, and senior. For elementary category, you need to be between 8 to 12, and Richard spoke about that already. What I want to do is just play you a short little video, and then we're going to look at the mat and look at 6 key points that you need to be able to master to complete this particular mat.
In WRO regular category, the teams are tasked with building a fully autonomous robot that's capable of solving a known challenge. The challenge takes place on a rectangular playing field of about 3 square meters in size.
We have a big robot, and we do it together, and then we program it, and we check it, and after we stop the competition.
Teams compete in one of 3 age groups: elementary, junior, and senior. Each age group competes on challenges designed especially for their particular age group. In WRO, regular category teams must assemble their robot. Every year on January the 15th, WRO Association releases the challenges for the season.
Right, so elementary category. The garden robot is what we're going to look at. And to take a closer look, let's just bring up the mat. So, as Donnie said, exactly the same mat as you would use in the Explorer category. And you need to note that we have 6 points, excluding the start and finish area that you see over there. And I'm combining collection point 1 and collection point 2, and I'll tell you why. So you will notice after the starting point, there's a ladybug position. We have the grass position and the bad grass, or rather the bad wheat position. We have the root area, which is in dark green, and that's very important. And then we have all the fences. There are 9 or 11 in total. 11 in total. And then we have the very important service point position. So, I want to bring this mat up. That's much better. And now I need the laser. There we go. I would encourage all the coaches just to, I know you probably do this already, but I print the rule book out for my learners, and they get to take it home and they do presentations to me to make sure that they understand what must be done. And that's, you know, it's because we are at a school and education plays a huge role. You know, there's a specific method that we follow as well, which I won't mind sharing, and that is that we read through the challenges together, then we observe each other and we assist each other, and then we go ahead and we do these challenges. And as we go through, we modify, troubleshoot, break, build again, and that's how we get through it. A lot of fun, to the point where the kids are in my lab every break time, every lunch, and then of course Saturdays we get together to work these out. So you start over there, and then you will notice that you have a darker green shade over here to the left of this black line. There's a white, and then there's a dark green area. So if I go back, you would have noticed that that area is called your root area, which is the dark green area. So when you knock your ladybug, which is at the bottom over here, that's what it looks like over there. When you knock your ladybug off that position over there, you can place one over there. There's one placed on that position there, and of course, right there, you need to make sure that you knock it outside of that dark green area. Different to the Explorer category, light and prime, you need to make sure that it's not partially, it must be completely knocked off its stand and outside of the dark green area. Right, that's the first thing. And then you will notice there are 8 gray squares. There's one, there's another one. You have a few here, some over there. There's one over there, and the 8th one is over there. So what you will find on those little gray squares would be 3 grass elements and 3 bad weed elements. And we will only fill 6 of the 8, and they will be randomized. For every round, they will be randomized, and of the 8, we will only place 6 of them on any of those 8 areas, okay? Only 6. Then you will move along, and you will find the grass that you need to cut, and that you just need to knock off its base, and that's basically it. Just knocking them, That's the grass. I speak under correction, that's the grass that you need to cut. The bad weeds you need to collect, which is this one over here. You see the red one with the yellow top over there? Those are the bad weed grass elements that we need to remove. You need to collect them and place them either in collection point 1 or in collection point 2. Now, if you want bonus points, you need to take them to collection point 2. Okay? You will get scored for that if you put it into collection point 1, but you will get 9 points if you place it in collection point 1, as opposed to 12 points in collection point 2. So if you're going for maximum score, fences, they look like this, and there are 11 of them, these black and white ones, and they are placed in these rectangular shapes. There's a gray area with a rectangular shaped area with a white rectangular shape within the gray area. Those fences must not be moved. They have to be untouched. If you do, you'll be penalized for that, of course. So stay away from the fences. And once you have collected all of your weeds and you have left where you see the laser, right there, and the starting position for that is when the green is up and the black is down. To activate that service point, you need to tap the green to lift the black and drop the green. That would be the finish point. That would mean that you have activated the service point, and that would complete your run. So I wish you everything of the best, and I'm looking forward to welcoming you back to Crystal House on the 13th of August. And I just need to mention one last thing. We have a sponsor that have really thrown an incentive that I cannot keep to myself. I spoke to some of the learners, and they are super excited about this. If we send a team through, and this is to Crystal House, and this is my team over here, if we manage to get a team through as part of the South African team, of the national team that's going to Germany, RAIN will then sponsor us with an amount of 30,000 Rand that would go to for your commitment to seeing that, the WRO robotics, that it, gets the necessary, little spark and injection that we need. So thank you to you guys as well. Thank you, everyone. Good luck.
Thank you very much, sir. So next I'd like to call on a team that represented South Africa in the online international competition. Technoblade, please join us on stage. It's always good to hear from those learners and their experiences so they can give you some tips. So I would like them to just share a little bit of their knowledge with you, because that's what it's about.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Luan Urendal and Viataru. Together, we are Team Technoblade. We competed in last year's 2021 WRO competition, and after coming first in nationals, we came 15th in the world.
For the Day 1 challenge, you will receive one or more surprise rules. You don't have to do the surprise rules, but if you do them, you will earn extra points. It may require a little code or board change to do the surprise rules, but it's worth it. For the Day 2 challenge, the challenge is completely different. It will require a code change and maybe a board change, or maybe both. This is the last challenge before getting your final ranking.
Hello, I'm going to be giving you a few tips on firstly, general tips. Never give up, points come before time, and always talk to your team. Secondly, building tips. Use frame pieces for a stable robot, be careful if you're using gears, and try different pieces and solutions. Lastly, coding tips. Always know your right and left. You should always know your robot's limits, and you should save your code every hour to keep it safe.
And do you want to explain what happens? What happens? Okay, so the robot had to collect the red lamps and then drop it off in the storeroom area. And then it had to collect the yellow lamps and drop the sun in the solar panel. And then the yellow lamps had to go into the home. 20 seconds. That's pretty good. Well done. I want to say thank you.
Thank you for listening to Team Technoblade, and we hope you all do well in this year's competition.
Okay, great. So now I'd like to call on Dr. Tony Williams. He's our RoboSports expert. He's had some exciting achievements overseas, and he's going to tell us about the RoboSports category. Please welcome him.
Thank you, Richard. Good evening, learners, guests, and all your YouTube viewers. Welcome you from Crystal House, Cape Town. We've got nice weather, the traffic is good. And we're talking RoboSports. Now let me tell you, in 2015, I said to my team, you know, everybody's doing everything, but there's not a lot of people that can play robotic soccer. And I said, this is going to take you places. And in 2015, and I want the team to stand up there. In 2015, they went to Doha, Qatar. On RoboSports. In 2016, they went to New Delhi, and guess what? Out of 75 countries, that team came 5th in the world. Thank you, you can sit down now. They're out of this world. Because they said, we've proven it all, but let's go to this place and that place, and they still saw the world. So what I'm saying to you now is, this year, we're having something called tennis, robo tennis, and that's the RoboSports for this year. So you will build a small robot. Let me just show you. This is now some of the soccer, and then we will move on to tennis.
In WRO football, 2 teams with 2 robots each play an action-packed game of football. The robots are fully autonomous and use sensors to navigate the playing field, locate the ball, and find the goal.
Since last month, we've practiced day and night just to keep these robots functioning.
The ball emits an infrared signal, which is picked up by the robot's sensors. Referees are tasked with keeping a good flow in the game, just like in real football. In WRO football, there is one age group, inviting students from 10 to 19 years old to team up and play the game. The fast pace of the game makes WRO football a hit with spectators.
Oh yes, and we're back live here on YouTube, and I must just tell you what I said to them years ago. This is robo tennis. People don't know this. It is your chance to master this in the beginning, when there's not a lot of people that can do it, and we've got the expertise here in South Africa. So as you can see over there, I would just like to show a pointer. So you've got 4 little balls. Yeah, 4, not 2. 4 balls. And you need to get these balls across that. That's a slant up there. It's an incline. And that side, it's like a net. It cannot roll over, but it can roll from this side that way. So you got 2 robots. The one robot must just hit, and you got 2 minutes to hit as many balls as you can. Now I must tell you this. You've got a little pixie camera on your robot. That's the only other thing that Lego allowed. So you've got this little pixie camera, you look for that orange ball, and when you find it, you go get them, and you hit it. You build your robot, you don't build a Novak Djokovic. He will be disqualified. You don't build a Nadal, you build a Roger Federer. Why? Because Nadal hits fair, but the other one hits Federer. So need to get that in there. So your unique robot, play that. And you know what? A good tip is build that robot. And tonight you're going to play some soccer over there if you have a chance. Even the adults, you're going to remote control. Remote control your tennis robot. If you see that robot is good enough to win a remote control game, if it handles well, then you go into programming. And tonight you will see we've got the Helderberg Robotics Club has got a demo out there. You're going to play with a remote control, and they're going to put an autonomous robot on there without controlling it. It works by itself. It's programmed, and you will see you will never win that robot. But that's a challenge for you out there. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the Robo Sports for this year. Robo Tennis. 2 minutes. And you try and get as many balls to the other side. And after the 2 minutes, when we stop, we count the balls. And the side with the least amount of balls is the winner. So you play against other people. You don't play against Lego blocks. It's a real competition. Enjoy. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about the next category, Future Innovators, and this is a category that I'm very, very passionate about because it gives our learners the opportunities to explore their imaginations and to create inventions that solve real-world problems that they've identified themselves. So these learners become inventors with a real purpose. And it really has been a privilege. Over the past 4 years, I've been an international judge, and I've had the opportunity to listen to these young learners and hear their thinking and see these amazing solutions. They really are, and they really have unboxed thinking. So it really has given me, and I'm sure a lot of judges, hope for our future generations. So just some important information about this category. Teams are between 2 and 3 members. There are 3 age groups, like there are in Robo Mission. That is elementary, senior, and junior. Teams must build a robot project or model that is going to demonstrate, their thinking and their idea. And this has to fit in a 2-meter cubed cubicle. Teams will be required to present their solution to a judge. So that's quite an exciting experience where they have to show them how it works, and then they also have to answer questions about their thinking and how they've come up with this idea. And a new part of this competition for the junior and the senior phases is an entrepreneurship program where they have to actually have a business plan associated with their idea. So now just quickly for a video that gives you a great overview of what the Future Innovators used to be open category is all about. I just want to check the sound here. Okay, so let's watch that video quickly.
The open category is a project-based competition. Students are tasked with creating intelligent robotic solutions that relate to the theme of the season. The presentation of the project takes place in a booth, which is 2 by 2 by 2 meters. And teams are encouraged to decorate their booths with posters that explain the project.
So every year there's a lot of trees and plants that are cut down, and trees obtain the CO2 in the atmosphere by the photosynthesis. So we came up with the idea that we wanted to help our region and all the biodiversity.
Category: elementary, junior, and senior. Design, presentation, and teamwork.
And Alva, and we are the team WRO the Girls.
Exciting models there, absolutely, that you can do with technology. So teams have to come up with ideas around the theme this year, which is My Robot, My Friend. And basically they have to create a robot that is helpful in any of the 3 following settings. Robots at home, and basically we're looking for robotic solutions that perform tasks in the household that just make life easier living at home. For robots in rescue, looking for robotic solutions that can support and relieve rescue services or that can carry out rescue tasks autonomously. And that means by themselves or independently. And then for robots in healthcare, robotic solutions that improve or support aspects of healthcare. So I'm sure a lot of you have a lot of crazy and exciting ideas buzzing around in your heads, and we really want to wish you good luck, and we look forward to seeing them.
Thank you, Richard. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's a great privilege for me to announce and to present to you the Future Engineers category, which is really all about advanced robotics, where research on the latest trends in the world is being exposed to our learners. What it's all about then, it's really a competition that focuses on the competitors creating and developing a motorized vehicle. So it's a self-driving car that navigates through a course in the first place just around the course for a couple of laps, and then afterwards there will be obstacles that they need to avoid. So it's a self-driving car that navigates around this course absolutely fully autonomously. Then the first 2 rounds, as I mentioned, the first 2 rounds, if I can maybe, the table, I'll show you the table in a moment. The first 2 rounds, the robot or the car just moves autonomously. It's a time attack race where the cars one by one go around the track, around the course, and they complete it as quickly as possible. So that's the first 2 rounds. The final 2 rounds, there are 2 components added to the field and to the course, and that is a green traffic sign and a red traffic sign that the smart car or the self-driving car needs to avoid. Now, they need to avoid it in a specific way as well. The red component or the red traffic light, they need to avoid it by going around it on the right-hand side of the component. And the green traffic sign, they need to avoid it by going to the left-hand side around it. And that way, they need to navigate through the course. All those elements are placed randomly on the table as well in the final round, even the starting position. The direction of movement of the car, that is also determined randomly. So either clockwise or anti-clockwise, that's done absolutely randomly and selected randomly. And that way they need to navigate through that course as quickly as possible. It's a time attack, so it's quite exciting to see them race, avoiding all those obstacles, avoiding the walls, and making use of this open source hardware. So that's one aspect of this category that's really important as well, that it's completely open source. The hardware can be anything from 3D printed components, big motors, large motors, variety of sensors, even cameras that have image recognition on the cameras to avoid those certain components on the field of play. Yes, and then of course the software as well is also completely open sourced. So any software programming can be used, And that makes it quite interesting and exciting to see what the learners and the teams specifically use to successfully complete this challenge. Yes, so if you are interested in the future engineers, then I really suggest you go to the website again, have a look at those rules and regulations. And there are rules and regulations. Even though it's open and an open source, there are still quite strict competition rules that you need to adhere to, as well as the WRO ethics code that all coaches and learners need to adhere to. So please have a look at those as well before you start planning. And yes, we're looking forward to seeing you in the future. Thank you. There's a video that I want to show you, and it's from Parkland's team that competed last year in the same event. So the event usually is around 3 to 4 years before they start changing the theme of the smart car or the self-driving robot or car. And this is one of the teams. It's Robo Dog, if I'm not mistaken, from Parklands. Have a look.
That's it. Yeah, no, we'll take you to the points. Okay, we do it again. Okay, same thing.
And then it crashed into the wall. But yeah, they did very well. So, yeah. Okay, great. I'd like to now call Mr. Lean Gelderblom to talk to us about virtual robotics. Please welcome her to the stage.
Thank you, Richard, and good evening, everybody. Cogmation is a Canadian-based company that decided that they would like to give learners who don't necessarily have access to a physical set, because as you know, the Lego sets are quite expensive, give them a chance to take part in robotics competitions as well. And they work with Lego, and they develop the same WRO competitions in a virtual world, and they develop a simulation where learners can then program the robot using the exact same software that they use for the physical robot. And then they can code the same challenges in a virtual world. We are still waiting for them to post it for this year. I contacted them. They said they're busy working on it, but they couldn't give me a date yet. I quickly want to show you a video.
This is the Virtual Robotics Toolkit, a robotics simulation software program that offers students opportunities to design, program, and control their very own robot, regardless of whether the physical hardware is available or not. Simulated robots are available 24/7 and are based on the Lego EV3 Mindstorm system and EV3G coding language and interface. With this toolkit, you can build and program your robot using the same tools as you would on a real thing. Robots can also be designed and imported into VRT with CAD tools like Lego Digital Designer. Competitors in the World Robot Olympiad would find this simulation valuable as maps and elements of WRO challenges from 2016 to the latest 2020 Climate Squad are available to use and practice on.
Okay, and then Cogmation works together with other companies, and they came up with the virtual robotics challenges. These are not the same challenges that we have in the WRO, but in 2021, they piloted it as part of WRO. We're still waiting to see whether, Dani, it will be part of WRO this year, but it gives learners the opportunity to take part in WRO in a virtual world. They have 3 categories. They also, is the same as the WRO. They have an elementary category, a junior category, and a senior category. And in each of these categories, you have a beginner's challenge and an advanced challenge. And the ages are more or less the same. The junior category up to 12 years old, the junior 13 to 15, and then the senior 16 to 19 years old. And in the first 3, the beginners competitions, they will have to code a pre-designed robot that will be on the mat, but in the advanced categories, they can design their own robot using the Lego Digital Designer or any other designed program, and they can import that robot onto the mat and then do the competitions. And they can use any software that can connect to the VRC software. And it's really a fun way of giving learners access to robotics if you don't have the physical sets. You need to buy a license from Cogmation. It's round about between $20 and $30 per license, and it's valid for a year. And I hope you will have fun. And I'm also willing afterwards, if anybody is interested, I brought my laptop and I can demonstrate to you what it looks like. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, so I know we are way behind time. I think this is a similar experience we had during COVID, the hybrid classroom. We've got the hybrid online presentation and the real presentation. So it is taking much longer than we thought. So I'm going to wrap this up as quickly as possible so we can get into the fun stuff. I just wanted you to have a look at some of the South African international teams. We have some pictures: UAE 2011, Indonesia 2013, Qatar 2015, and India all the way through to Hungary 2019. And you see this massive growth in this representation from South Africa. And you'll see some famous people, some famous football people that are over there on the right in some of those photos. And yeah, it just really is an absolutely incredibly life-changing experience. You learn so much. You see these international robots, you think, oh my word, how did they actually work that out? How did they actually come up with a solution like that? So the learning is massive. The friendships you make are lifelong. And, you know, really, it's work as hard as you can to represent South Africa at these events, because we want to challenge you. These are the best international performances we've had since since South Africa's been in the WRO. So 2013, we had a silver medal in the Future Innovators by QWERTY Robots. In 2016, 14th place in the Robo Mission by Robodog. 2016, 5th place by Mecha Strikers in Robosports. And 2017, 9th place in the Future Engineers category by Team Infinity. So yeah, that's a challenge. We're challenging you to better those. So are you up for the challenge? Yeah? Okay, great. That's good to hear. So hopefully at this stage you're really interested. If you're not already involved, just how do I get going? Well, form a team, find a coach, get the correct equipment, make sure you go through those rules. Make sure that you understand every single element on that table and what it's supposed to do. Go over them and understand them. We recently picked up, when we were busy on the current challenge, that our fences were 1 bar short. And it was like, oh my word. So our robots were a little bit too low, and they would have knocked all the fences over. So make sure you go through those rules. Plan a strategy. It's computational thinking. Work out your approach to the table. Okay? Very important. Build and execute. Build and execute. Practice, practice, practice. The time involved in this is massive. We're talking weekends. We're talking school holidays. It's massive. But, you know, if you're passionate about it and it's your purpose, that is what you're going to be happy doing. It's going to be your fun weekend. So most importantly, if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. So we really look forward to welcoming you all to the WRO family. Just being here today, you're already part of it. So give yourself a round of applause. Thank you for being here. Okay, so quickly, competition dates. The 13th of August, 2022, the Western Cape Regional Competition right here in this venue, Crystal House, South Africa, Cape Town. 17th of September, 2022, the National WRO SA Competition. That's in Gauteng. The 24th to the 28th of October is the In-House Explorer and We Do Spike Essential Challenge. And then the 17th to the 19th of November, the International WRO Competition in Dortmund, Germany. Important websites and contacts. Please take a photo of this page, WRO SA website, WRO SA Facebook page, etc. Please just make sure you have all that information. And this is mainly for the online and the YouTube viewers. Basically, the regional contacts are listed right there. We have obviously Dani, who's a national organizer, and then your different region contacts. And Eastern Cape, Dani is also the organizer. If you're in a region and you don't actually have a contact, Dani is the contact. Dani, don't look at me like that. Okay, and now for some very special thank yous. Please join me in thanking the following sponsors and organizers for making this event happen tonight. A special thank you to Crystal House. Thank you so much for hosting the event tonight, for organizing all of the space, for coming in on your Saturdays and setting it up and sending videos and saying, is this okay? And then us saying, no, change it. So thank you so much. Please, will you give them a round of applause? Thank you. And another very, very special thank you to Ms. Fatima Yakut and her team from Saki Kamva for arranging the live stream. Really, it's been quite an experience. Wasim, you are a superstar. I see you just working on the fly there, using the laser pointer. Really well done. Thank you so much. And Mr. Esther Hazen for coordinating it, and of course for Rain, to Rain for the connectivity. So please will you give them another round of applause. And then just if you are interested in the Spike program and you want to learn more about Lego, we have a conference running at Parklands College. It's the Innovate Edu Conference from the 6th to the 7th of May. Please, there's a QR code if you want to register. We have Stuart Swan. He's a Lego Education Academy certified trainer. He's going to be here. He's going to be specifically looking at the use of Spike Prime in the preparatory and secondary phases in school. So it's going to be an exciting workshop. It is a paid event, so please, if you want to attend, please register on that site. And now for the Lego Lucky Draw. So we really are very privileged to have been sent this Lego by Hands On Tech and Care for Education. They really are greatly appreciated. Thank you so much, Dani and Brent and Dunks. And I'd like to invite Dani to the podium, and he's going to draw some lucky names, and they're going to receive some Lego prizes. So let's invite Dani to the stage, and I'll hand over the Lego. Okay, Sharon, do you want to hold? And shake?
Yeah,
thanks.
Be with us.
You've been registering it, so.
Thanks. Okay. How many am I drawing, Richard? Do you know?
All of those.
So we're going to work through the list here.
Yeah.
Oh, and you want me to announce them as well?
Yes, please.
Surname, first name. Okay, the first person is Priyen Munsami. Work through these in a hurry. Whoops, I've got two. Peter LaRue. Oh, we've got a coach coming. Nice. Yeah, and he's a new coach from Elkanah House. Sydney Williams. Julia Holiday. Noah Harwood. Izelle Nell. Giselle is here. Nikhil Moodley. Veer Atwaru. Oh, good, it's me. I wonder if I've got one in here. Sindile Miyoko. Jarrett Williams. And I'm not looking, they just know me well. Senilizwe Peswayo. Michaela LaRue.
Well done.
Matthew Frank. Thought I knew that name from the international competition. Pumla Nukanda. Elile Hadebe. How far am I, Richard? Last one?
We're done. We're done.
Oh, is that it? Sure. Okay, thanks so much.
Okay, so thank you so much, Donnie. Thank you, Hands On Tech and Care for Education, and well done to all the lucky prize winners. There are a few more prizes left, but they'll be done in the workshop. Okay, so let's check our time. Oh my goodness, it is 7:30. And the workshop schedule is supposed to finish at 8:30. If we can go longer, you can. If that's okay, if we can go to maybe 9 o'clock, if that's okay. Okay, well, we'll see how it goes. And the workshops are the beginner Spike Prime workshop. If you've registered for that, please will you come and line up over here and you can come into that position. And then, of course, there's the amazing remote football demo by Helderberg Robotics, a drone demo by Inspire Africa, and a RoboVac demo by Hansel Williams. So have some fun, have a look around, and please join us for the Spike Prime workshop if you have booked to be in it.